Welcome to U.S. Immigration TV. Well, the Trump administration recently announced, and I quote, an historic opportunity for illegal aliens to receive both financial and travel assistance to facilitate travel back to their home country through the CBP Home app. And this is called self-deportation. You heard a lot about that. A person who self-deports receives a one-way ticket to their home country and $1,000 once it's confirmed that they have, in fact, returned to their home country. Maybe they have to check in at the U.S. Embassy over there. Now, the Trump administration has described self-deportation as, and I quote, a dignified way to leave the U.S. and will allow illegal aliens to avoid being encountered by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, and may help preserve the option for an illegal alien to re-enter the U.S. legally in the future. So the question many people have, or they're asking, is whether they should take this offer up from the Trump administration and self-deport. I mean, I'm getting it all the time. Attorney, I am so scared. I am fearful. I just want to pack my bags and I want to leave. I mean, they discuss really how they are living in fear. They're traumatized and they're literally afraid to go outside out of fear of being picked up by ICE, whether it's at home, in front of their children, or at their workplace, and then being taken straight to the airport in shame. Now, while people should really make their own decisions, and I express no opinion concerning those decisions, whether you should self-deport or not, I just wanted to give you additional information to consider in connection with making that monumental decision, because self-deportation could have grave and permanent consequences. For example, the American Immigration Lawyer Association, or AILA, has issued a statement about self-deportation, calling it a, and I quote, deeply misleading and unethical trick. AILA further states that self-deportation is deceptive and gives people the impression there are no consequences, such as being barred from returning to the U.S. in the future. So here are some factors or facts or points for you to think about in making that decision. If a person self-deports under this offer, they could trigger the 3 and the 10-year bar, banning them from returning to the U.S. for up to 10 years. Now, that particular law states that if a person has been out of status for more than 6 months and departs the U.S., let's say through this self-deportation, they are subject to the 3 or 10-year bar unless they qualify for a waiver, like having a spouse or parent who's a citizen or immigrant. If a person self-deports, how are they going to be able to return to the U.S.? Clearly, they're never going to qualify for another visitor or student visa because they overstayed on their original trip. They would need to have probably some kind of visa petition by either an employer, a spouse, or a family member that was approved, and the priority date is already now current, and of course, they're not subject to the 10-year bar. Also think about this. A person may be on the verge to be legalized while still in the U.S. And by leaving or self-deporting, they're going to forfeit that opportunity through this self-deportation. For example, what if they are married to a green card holder who is about to naturalize, and therefore, once they're a citizen, that person could possibly get a green card in the U.S.? What if the person thinking about self-deportation has a 20-year-old child born in the U.S. who could petition them for a green card in the U.S. once that child reaches 21 years of age? If they self-deport, they lose the ability to adjust status in the U.S. and, of course, could trigger the 3 and the 10-year bar. Also, ICE cannot simply pick you up and take you to the airport. You would first have to be placed in deportation or removal proceedings and have the opportunity to present your case in front of a judge, and you can have an attorney represent you. So, for example, maybe there are avenues for you to legalize, which, again, you would forfeit if you self-deported. One such defense maybe you're eligible for or claim for relief could be cancellation of removal, where you ask the judge for a green card if you've been in the U.S. for at least 10 years, you're good moral character, and you have a parent, spouse, or child who's a citizen or green card holder who would suffer extreme and exceptionally unusual hardship if you're deported. Now, you could not pursue this claim for relief if you self-deport. Another point to think about, many people who are now fearful of Trump went through and survived his first term, remember, from 2016 to 2020, without rushing to the airport to self-deport. What's changed from when he was president during his first term that caused people to now be so traumatized? He was also very strict in terms of immigration enforcement back then, and he's just doing the same thing right now. Another thing to think about in making your decision to self-deport is perhaps soon there could be an amnesty in the U.S. for people who are here now. If you depart or self-deport, you may not be eligible for that amnesty. Now, to be clear, there is no amnesty now and nothing to apply for at this time. But again, if you self-deport and the amnesty is available for only those people who are still in the U.S., you've missed that opportunity. Now, as Ayla has stated, and which I fully agree with, and I quote, "No one should accept this offer without first obtaining good legal advice from an immigration attorney or other qualified representative." In other words, before you make that monumental decision to self-deport, you should consult with an attorney to see if there are other ways or options to getting a green card or legalizing, as opposed to a lifelong ban, literally, from the U.S., never being able to return again. The attorney can explore those options if available and advise you accordingly. I hope this has provided useful information, especially to those who are traumatized and are thinking about self-deportation. As you see, it's not as easy or attractive as the Trump administration is making it seem to be. Once you leave, maybe you're never coming back. So before you make that decision, see an attorney. Also, if you found this video helpful or informative, I am continually posting videos on this website, which I hope and I think could be of use to you, either to yourself, family members, friends. So therefore, please make sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. I'm Michael Gurfinkel, and thank you for watching and subscribing to U.S. Immigration TV.